And we're underway in Jonesboro. And as usual, it seems like A-State wins the opening tip. Keon Wesley's been in and out of the lineup of late, battling some back spasms, was looking high-low with O'Meara, and it's turned over.
It's a right look. He had him inside, just didn't deliver it at the right spot, but certainly the right look inside.
Fields came around on the other end and stripped away from Mustafa, and then Marquise Eaton lost the handle on the other end. So 3 possessions, 3 turnovers in the first half minute.
Well, but you can see with Arkansas State, obviously you don't want the turnovers, but, you know, trying to attack before Coastal gets actually set into their defense. There you go, 4 possessions, 4 turnovers, right?
O'Meara with the steal. He's actually top 10 in the league in that category. As you're right, 4 possessions, 4 turnovers. Here's the backdoor lob, and it was nearly 5-5, but Mustafa got a hand on the pass.
I think Eaton wanted the home run before that even. He wanted that one before it even really was open there. So predetermined that one a little bit.
A-State inbounds off the touch by the Chanticleers as Marquise Eaton is guarded by Vince Cole, a couple of the better guards in the league going at it. Now here's Fields with the shot clock winding down. He'll take a deep 3, nearly banked it in, and Mustafa gets the game's first rebound.
You get an idea there from Coastal standpoint what they're looking to do defensively is, you know, they stayed man there but switched on everything, and they're really not going to get out in passing lanes and challenge. They're just going to have to, they're trying to make Arkansas State beat them from the perimeter.
As you get a look at the legendary Cliff Ellis, who has got 890 wins coming into tonight, only coach in Division I history with at least 170 wins at 4 different stops. Mustafa picked up the foul going over the top of O'Meara. Eaton gets a friendly bounce to get A-State on the board. Into the front court. This is Abrima Diba with the basketball. Guarded by Fields.
Part of that size we talked about, a 6'6" point guard.
He led the league in assists last year and didn't play point guard. Mustafa across the paint, gave it up. This is Rudy Williams backing out, fadeaway to beat the shot clock, no. And then Garrett Green nearly snuck in there for an offensive rebound, but it will belong to Arkansas State.
Yeah, referring to Diba and the assist is that if you look currently at the top 15 assist leaders in the Sun Belt, you got 5 of them on the floor right now with Coastal and Diba and Williams, and then of course with Arkansas State, Eaton, Fields, and Sills, 5 of the 15.
Well, O'Meara didn't know that pass was coming until the last possible second. He was able to catch it and score anyway. And A-State's got the first 4. Head of steam into the front court. Here's a corner 3 off the mark. Green knocked that rebound away from Mustafa and into the Arkansas State bench. So the Red Wolves get it back. Rudy Williams setting up like he wants to guard Fields the length of the floor.
Coastal staying man so far in this game, but you see they're really not out pressuring in passing lanes.
Vince Cole with a head of steam. Had it knocked away by Desi Sills, but at the last second, there's a whistle and a foul on Sills, who thought he might have gotten down there and made that play cleanly. Let's have another look. He might have a case, huh?
Might have a case, that's right. Hard not to call though, right? With that kind of arms and legs going every direction, it's one of those that's going to look like a foul.
So Cole at the free throw line. He is 7th in the league. In fact, Coastal has 3 of the top 11 in the Sun Belt scoring race, with him leading the pack at 15.5 a game.
Very common to see Coastal pick up a little bit of a press after dead balls or free throws.
Sills open near the left wing, knocks down the three-pointer.
It's a good start. Again, one of the keys we talked about, and good for Arkansas State to get a little bit of rhythm maybe here at home from the perimeter.
Diva over the defense to the far side. Shot clock at 10. And Mustafa has it knocked away. Already a second steal for Norchad Omier. Eaton in transition will try for three, and he knocked it down and put up an average of 19 and 13 in conference play.
He does it all, and we even talked about earlier the number of steals he's gotten. When a good decision maker as well with passing. And another steal.
So he adds to that. Now he takes it himself and lost the handle. And sure, didn't make the best decision catching that out of bounds, but he made that call an easy one. As you see Omier, of course, you see he just lost the handle, so he already knew what was happening. He knew it didn't get touched. He's still pretty new to the game, folks, despite the video game numbers. Every once in a while on a fast break, he fancies himself a point guard. See Arkansas State trying to snap a trend in the series as there's a tough baseline jumper up and good from Vince Cole.
It's a good go-to player to break the drought by Coastal.
Coming into the night, only 9 games played in the series, and the road team has won the last 5. It's been over 4 years since a home team won this ball game. As Sills tries again, a little bit short. Eaton kept the rebound alive, but it eventually collected by Debo. For Coastal, that was Will Lakai who's into the game along the baseline. Jumper wouldn't go for Josh Yaduje, and here comes A-State. Sills puts it on the floor along the baseline, and he's going to be fouled by Vince Cole. That's his first. Avery Feltz, you see him checking in there, number 2. He had a career-high 13 in the win for A-State in Conway back at the end of January. Caleb Fields will sit down.
Avery Feltz checks into the game for the Red Wolves. He replaces Caleb Fields.
A-State has it off the inbound.
You see Coastal switching on those ball screens. Again, with their size, there's really not a lot of difference across the board defensively, so easy for them to make switches like that.
Omier from 15, that's the part of his game that he has really improved this year. You look at those numbers, that 19 points, 13 rebound average, he's doing it on better than 65% shooting from the field. 3 gets deflected. Keon Wesley is going to be fouled, throwing it ahead in transition. As that one's going to go on Cole, and that's a big whistle because it's the second.
Yeah, that is a big foul. That's his second, yeah. Fields doing a good job guarding him to this point. He does a great job running. They run him off a lot of single, double screens. He's a really quick release coming off of those screens, actually leading during conference play the Sun Belt in three-point percentage. And Fields doing a good job staying with him to this point.
So 6 minutes in, Coastal's leading scorer sits down with 2 fouls. As A-State tries to cash in to the baseline for Omier, who's just too strong. Not the world's best angle on that pass, but he caught and scored anyway.
Big hands. He was able to turn it into a really good angle because of his reach and his big hands.
A-State has hit 6 of its last 8 shots. On the other end, they knock a ball loose, and then Eaton saves it in play. Here's Sills out ahead of the pack. Between defenders, flips it up and good. So A-State gets out in transition off a hustle play made by Marquise Eaton. Cashed in by Sills on the other end, and it's a 12-point Arkansas State lead. And that's going to be a foul. And that's going to be 2 on Desi Sills. Arkansas State wanted a hook or a walk, didn't get either.
Yeah, and I think you actually had two. I think you had two officials that probably would have disagreed on that or had different opinions on that call.
There was a little hesitation.
Yeah, I think the official in front of us, he looked like I think he was ready to call the hook.
But that's a big whistle because it's now 2 on Desi Sills. So Marquise Eaton, or I got Caleb Fields back into the lineup. Williams with a little step back jumper, it's short. And the offensive rebound taken by Yaduje. Lakai knocks down the Bill Cartwright three-pointer. Will Lakai from deep. And the A-State lead is 9. Marquise Eaton shakes himself a little room up top. The rebound tied up as Wesley got in there with Garrett Green. Arrow points to the Chanticleers, and we're going to see some changes for Arkansas State. Marquise Davis is going to come in for Keon Wesley. Also Malcolm Farrington into the lineup, the second-year freshman out of West Palm Beach, Florida. Coastal tries to continue to chip away. Trailed by as many as 12. That three got it back within 9. Duje got to the paint, and he hits.
Yeah, again, you see that just taking advantage of the size there. They do a really good job just kind of spreading out and getting you in a one-on-one position and just really shooting over you with that size.
Marquise Davis couldn't hit from near the top of the key. As there's a strong move to the bucket by Rudy Williams, who got it to go, even though O'Meara might have gotten a piece of that. So that's 7 unanswered by the Chanticleers in just under a minute, and that 12-point lead down to 5. Farrington couldn't get it together in Northeast Arkansas.
Arkansas in February, is it not?
Yep. A-State basketball coming out of the timeout. O'Meara finds Davis.
Great back cut, though. Great back cut and pass.
They came with the help. Now he finds Farrington in the corner who knocks down the 3. Well, you're rolling the dice when you leave Malcolm Farrington to go double down on O'Meara, and A-State made the Chanticleers pay that time. Stops the 7-0 Coastal spurt, pushes the lead back to 8. For an answer, Uduje couldn't get it to go, and North Chad O'Meara says that'll be mine, and here comes A-State. O'Meara along the baseline. Rolled off the back iron and collected by Lakai. Well, it feels like a rare miss from O'Meara. Mustafa leans in, got his shot blocked by O'Meara. He's second in the league in that category. Now here's another three-pointer up and good from over the head of Will Lakai. He's hit a couple of those.
Yeah, he doesn't need to bring it back behind his head, and he's already 6'9" as it is. That's unblockable as it is, but he is a very good three-point shooter at that size.
Shot blocked out of bounds will stay with Arkansas State. You see Antoine Jackson, number 50, the Las Vegas native, checking in. Marquise Eaton is back for Arkansas State. O'Meara and Avery Phelps sit down.
Antoine Jackson and Marquise Eaton check into the game for the Red Wolves.
So the guys giving them a boost as he has come in to hit a couple of three-pointers here in this first half. In fact, he leads all scorers along with O'Meara with those 6 points. Eaton drops it off for Marquise Davis, who hits the little pull-up on the baseline.
Yeah, that's what you want out of Arkansas State is, again, just continue to attack off the dribble Easier said than done because of the way Coastal's defending, but Eaton able to get into the paint there.
A-State shooting right at 53% so far in the first half. As Jackson got in there with the deflection. Eaton pulls up on the three-point line. No. Rebound taken in a hurry by Rudy Williams. He goes 1-on-3 and got the basket.
Good strong finish around two defenders.
Rudy Williams out of Hamilton, Ontario, the K-State transfer. Gets the shot to clears again, back within 5. Fields got to the baseline. He comes up short, and Williams has it fall in his hands. Pass ahead to Uduje, who throws it down with 2 hands.
Okay, you got your point guard attacks the rim, and nobody shifted around to get back on defense there. Coastal able to get the run out.
So A-State led by as many as 12 at 16-4, but since then it's a 14-5 stretch for Coastal to get within 3. Shot clock in the closing seconds as Eaton wants the screen. Has to force one up, misses the mark, and interesting to not see the shot clock violation stop play there. And instead, Coastal goes down and hits a 3. They've already come from 12 down to tie it up here in this one.
Well, they came back and got one of those close wins this past weekend at home against Troy, which obviously, you know, gives, again, confidence going into this last week and into the tournament. Here out of the timeout, they finally switched back into that zone. This would be like a 3-2 or a 1-2-2 zone. A lot of times you'll see them actually switch from zone into man at some point in the possession.
Couple of blocks that trip down the floor for Coastal. Here they come trying to take the lead. Williams to the bucket, yes, with a foul on Sills, and that'll be the 3rd on Desi.
That's a couple of really good, strong finishes by him at the rim while drawing contact.
So Mike Bellato had put Desi Sills back in the lineup with his 2 fouls, and Desi's trip back into the game is going to be a short one as he gets called for his 3rd there. And you see Keon Wesley and Avery Phelps back into the lineup.
Up until that last possession, Coastal pretty much just stayed man, or had stayed man every possession, and finally all that timeout we saw that 3-2 zone. Like I said, a lot of times they'll midway through the possession match up into man. I don't think they did that time. I think they stayed zone. Now they go back to man.
Free throw off the mark, so A-State down by 2 as we roll near 7 minutes to go here in the first half. Here's Eaton along the baseline. Out to an open Avery Phelps, who will take a 3 and knock it down.
Finally, that's probably the best offensive possession for Arkansas State. And how many, probably at least 3 ball reversals. You know, during that drought when Coastal made their run, I thought Arkansas State got really way too one-on-one. So it was good to see that ball movement again.
So the wild shot from Uduje comes up empty underneath. As Eaton got around the O'Meara screen and knocked down the 16-footer. So 5 straight for the Red Wolves, and the home team back up 3.
You see Coach Bellato, even after that possession, looking at the bench, and he was just saying, move the ball. And obviously that's one of the keys. They've got to spread Coastal out, and after that last time out, you're seeing a better offense now, getting the ball moving again.
Brima Deba knocks down the 3. Here's O'Meara with a little head fake, and then he knocks down the baseline jumper. So Norshad, 8 points, 5 boards, a couple of assists, 3 steals, and a block or 2 here in this first half. As Williams is going to be called for the travel.
Little jab step, but he drugged the back foot.
So A-State with the basketball in the 2-point lead. As each team shooting well right now. Red Wolves have hit their last 3. Coastal has knocked down 6 of its last 7 from the field. Phelps tries to add to that. 3-pointer wouldn't go. Mustafa up high for the rebound. Deba gave it up top to Rudy Williams, and he's going to be fouled on the drive. Going to go on Marquise Eaton. It is his first. In fact, he's the first A-State player other than Desi Sills to be called for a foul.
Williams is really creating off the dribble, kind of taking over on the offensive end. Ever since Cole went out with the 2 fouls, he's really been creating hard off the dribble. I'm not sure of the 4 fouls by Arkansas State. I'm not sure he hadn't drawn all 4 of them. At least 3 of the 4, just by creating.
Mustafa got right under the backboard and didn't have anywhere to go. He got stuck in no man's land, sort of nudged there by Norchad O'Meara, and Chanticleers turn it over. For already the 8th time here in this first half. So far, A-State's gotten just 5 points off the turnovers. Phelps will not get a chance to add to that as Eaton just picked up his second personal on the offensive foul.
That's a defensive decision there by Green. That's an all or none. He left Phelps wide open for 3, but it paid off by taking the charge. If you don't take the charge, you're giving up 3 points there. Decision paid off.
Yeah, earlier we saw saw Coastal double off the shooter in the corner and get burned, so that helps them break even on that decision.
And Williams again drawing another foul.
Rudy Williams strong to the bucket to tie it up, and he'll have a chance to put Coastal back on top at the free throw line as that foul is on Caleb Fields is his first.
Yeah, a lot of with Coastal, it's isolation as they are really getting their players in one-on-one situations, especially Williams. I mean, he's attacking one-on-one in every possession where normally you want help up the line where he's attacking into 1 or 2 to 3 defenders, but he's getting himself into one-on-one position every time. And like I said, 5 Arkansas State fouls. I think he's drawing all 5 of them right now.
He's 3rd on the team in scoring, but 11th in the league. It's a 1-point Chanticleer lead as O'Meara will go to the line. The reverse wouldn't fall, but he's fouled, and this will actually be Arkansas State's first free throw coming up. As that one is charged on Deshaun Thomas, who's into the lineup. A super senior out of Columbia, South Carolina. Well, you'd spend a long time talking about the numbers and accolades this young man's piling up. First Division I player out of Nicaragua. The Division I career active rebound leader. Look at those league numbers. We talked about the fact that no Sunbelt player has put up numbers like that in conference action in the last 30-plus years. Probably, well, I don't know, say possibly a week or so away from being named the player of the year in the league.
And you're putting up these numbers at this time of year, too, where everybody knows you are the best player on the floor. Defensively, they're gearing everything towards you, and you're still able to put up those numbers.
We're even at 29, and there's O'Meara. Williams with a head of steam into the front court. 3 to beat the horn is up and good.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised they didn't double again. Big-time shot by Williams. He's feeling it for sure.
Yeah, sort of let the hottest player on the floor keep it in his hands and hit the three-pointer as he's got 15 now. It's a 3-point Coastal lead. Fields will try to tie it up. His 3 wouldn't go, and Abrima Deba grabs the rebound. And he has his pocket pick. Wesley started it, Fields finishes it, and Caleb Fields gets the layup. Didn't take long for it to go the other way with Williams. Step back fadeaway, he hit that. And that is a heat check that he got his answer.
Well, that's a case there where just the isolation part, there's nobody can double him. They're just getting him.
Then he misses a wide open three. A-State dodged a big bullet there.
They did. Yeah, the last possession, I mean, there's no way, nobody even to run at him. They're doing such a good job of really just almost clearing out a side and letting him go one-on-one.
Rudy Williams, 17 first half points on 7 of 11 shooting. He's got the Chanticleers up 3 with just under 3 to go here in this opening half.
What you want out of a team, you got your leading scorer, Cole, gets his 2 early fouls. He's their leading scorer, and you know somebody had to step up to keep him in the game, and Williams has done it.
Fields gives it up late in the shot clock. Farrington's got to force one up over the defender, and this time it'll be a shot clock violation. As Deshaun Thomas, you see him checking back into the lineup. He'll replace Vince Cole, who had actually snuck back out there in the lineup. So he played a stretch without getting his 3rd foul. And Coastal has it. Shooting now 57% of the game. They've hit 4 of their last 5 from the field. Trying to tack onto a 3-point lead. See Cajuns with a lead and a tight one down in Statesboro. Felt's got a deflection. It's going to lead to a shot clock violation. Wouldn't have been backcourt anyway, but they had no chance to chase that down and get a shot up. So the turnover is the 10th against Coastal here in this first half, and 1A State needed from a defensive standpoint. Feltz actually, sort of with his back to the play, got a deflection and led to the shot clock violation.
Just to see Arkansas State get that ball moving a little bit better. Their best offensive possessions is when we've seen that ball moving side to side. Again, you've got to spread Coastal with their length and size out there.
When Arkansas State's got 10 assists on its 13 field goals, so they have been better with ball movement. Fields down the paint, no. And then he got tied up battling for his own rebound. Garrett Green in there with him, and the arrow points Coastal's direction. Checking into the lineup, Will Lakai is back in there. He came in and gave them a shot in the arm earlier in his first half.
As much as Williams has done, the 2 threes he hit really kind of gave them life. And then Williams took over from there.
See, halftime in Mobile, that game of importance for an Arkansas State standpoint. The ball is loose and collected by Keon Wesley. And then he turned it back over, and here's a run-out opportunity. The one-hand flush is there for Deba. As O'Meara was trying to track him down from behind, but he had too little ground to cover. Deba did. And it's a 5-point shot to clear lead in the final minute of the half. Feltz has it out on the floor as the shot clock hits 10. Here's O'Meara. Out to Feltz. He throws one up to beat the shot clock, and that goes in.
Just the way they drew it up. I almost said again, they gambled and doubled on O'Meara, leaving Feltz with the ball, and I thought time was running out, but he's still able to throw it up and knock it down.
A much-needed A-State bucket as Coastal now can take the final shot of the half. Williams, scalding hot first half. A rare miss from him and impacted Arkansas State.
Well, I don't think there's any question. When he went out, that's when Coastal went on the run. And, I think also, we look at the only 6 points in the paint for Arkansas State. Obviously with O'Meara, that's a big part of it. But that also goes along with their guards. I mean, their guards need to get in the paint and score. And Sills is as good as anybody at doing that. So, hopefully he can help him in that area as well, of attacking off the dribble and scoring in the paint.
Trying to go right to O'Meara on the first possession, pass off his fingertips and out of bounds for the 8th A-State turnover. As Williams down the paint, had that one deflected by Norshad, who came down with it. And then he throws it over everybody, and that's been, the one area where you see kind of where his game will continue to evolve is sometimes the decision making in those transition opportunities. For as good as he hasn't played a lot of basketball.
No, the intention's right. He's wanting to. Sometimes you just got to let the game come, and
there he is again.
Letting it come to you.
Watch out, O'Meara with his 4th steal. He's in double figures scoring with that 2-hand dunk, and A-State's within a point. Cole couldn't get it to go on the other end. Fields quick outlet to Sills. He'll go at Cole, take the bump, and will head to the line. And that's 3 on Vince Cole.
A huge start to this half there with, I was about to say at the other end, not letting Cole get going early. Fields a great job on defense, and then turns around the other day and initiates the contact to get him his 3rd foul.
So Desi Sills at the free throw line for Arkansas State. The Jonesboro native who played the first 3 years of his career up in Fayetteville hits the first free throw. Comes in the league leader in steals, and also near the top of the standings as he's 10th in the league at the free throw line where he hits a couple.
This is always one of those tough decisions as a head coach. It's, you got your leading scorer just picked up his 3rd foul, but yet, he sat so much in that first half. It's like you almost got to take a chance and let him get some minutes here. Trust him to not get that 4th foul here early.
Stepping into a 3-pointer back there and knocking it down is Garrett Green. Caleb Fields all alone, thought about taking it. Instead, he'll give it to Marquise Eaton in and out from the corner.
Good decision, though. Turned down his shot, found Eaton wide open.
Mustafa took a little extra time to collect that pass and feared maybe it was too much time, but he's able to score anyway.
Day one with big guys, you teach them run rim to rim, and that's exactly what he did. Ran straight down the floor to the rim.
Sills called for a travel, so it'll be turned back over to Coastal, just as Arkansas State turned it over a little bit to start the first half. They've done it here in the second as well. Each team in double digits in turnovers now. The Cajuns have gone into Statesboro and gotten the win. Cole, short on the 3. Rudy Williams, the offensive rebound. Thought better than going at O'Meara, so he kicked it out. Now Cole will try again. This one's off the mark, and Marquise Eaton there for the rebound. Eaton was looking in for a post up. Now they go to Fields. He changes gears down the paint and scores with a foul. So that time, coach, is almost like they were, put O'Meara on the opposite block, trying to 2 passes ahead, and when it wasn't there, Fields just took it to the rim.
Yeah, that's where again he can make a difference. Those are points in the paint right there. Just a good ball screen by O'Meara and allow him to create off the dribble. What they missed there in the first half of not getting the ball into the paint enough.
The foul was on Garrett Green. It's his first. As Coastal was trying to make a change or wanted to, I don't know, they wanted to sit up for the next one.
Yeah, he was late to the table.
Green couldn't get the three to go. Sills will turn and let it go out of bounds to Arkansas State. And now it'll give Will Lakai a chance to check in.
Checks in the game for the shot to play.
Lakai, 6 points. A couple of three-pointers that a stretch in the first half. The Chanticleers really needed them. As they stay with a chance to retake the lead. Eaton to O'Meara into the paint, had it knocked away and collected by Deba. Abrima Deba gives it over to Williams. Eaton closed in on him. Now pass into Mustafa against O'Meara with the left hand. Came up short. Norshad the rebound. And then it's out of bounds to Arkansas State. So that's the 7th board for Norshad O'Meara, his 6th on the defensive end. As Josh Yaduje will check in. As Green will have a seat.
And Mustafa in conference plays averaging double figures. O'Meara doing a good job on him defensively.
Whistle out on the perimeter, and a foul is on Rudy Williams. He didn't love the call. It's only his first personal, 3rd team foul, as we see Sean Thomas check in. And Mustafa will have a seat.
Even there, just with Sills, he's changed Arkansas State offensively, just again being aggressive off the dribble. That time, again, drawing another foul.
Mustafa's been quiet tonight. He sits down with 2 points, 3 rebounds. As Sills goes baseline, got hung up under the rim, shot wouldn't go, and here comes Coastal Carolina in transition.
Makai wanted to pull another one, didn't he, in transition.
Now, tangled up away from the basketball is going to be a foul on Keon Wesley of Ark in the corner, and I'm going to tell you, if you're a college basketball fan, I think the place to be will be Pensacola. That's going to be some kind of Sun Belt tournament. Coastal gets the quick hitter out of the timeout. Sills kick out to Fields. He puts it on the floor near the elbow. Jumper a little bit long. Rebound chased down by Rudy Williams. And he leans in and gets it to go. So back-to-back quick buckets for Coastal, and that 1 point lead, just like that, back to 5. Actually matching the largest of the league, largest of the night for the Chanticleers. O'Meara turns baseline, shot off the mark, and into the hands of Deba. So A-State has gone just over 2 minutes without a bucket. Rudy Williams has another one. He's up to 21. And now this is the largest lead of the game for Coastal, as they've scored the last 6 in the span of 56 seconds. Coming out of the timeout, Sills drops it off to O'Meara. Now here's Wesley. Bounce pass out to Eaton. He'll try from 3. No. And the rebound to Lakai.
Arkansas State's not really getting rewarded right now because with Sills attacking off the dribble, but they will if he'll keep it up. He's really creating a lot off the dribble right now.
Lakai in the corner. That's his first miss from 3, and Norshad O'Meara with his 8th rebound. He takes it trailing to the free throw line. Sills gives it to him, and he slips. There's going to be a whistle and a foul. As they'll wipe up that spot on the floor that needs it.
Yeah, as I say, there was just a big sigh of relief just to see him get up because that was a dangerous play.
So the foul charged to Josh Uduje, his first, team's fourth. So you have another look. Now they called the foul on the floor during the jump stop, so A-State will inbound. Avery Felts comes back in as Fields sits down. They knock it out of bounds, and O'Meara decides to let it roll out near midcourt, knowing the Chanticleers had touched it last, and A-State will inbound now out on the sideline. Arkansas State's rolling near now 3.5 minutes without a basket. Down by 7. As Eaton for 3, off the mark, late in the shot clock, and Coastal has the rebound.
Another possession where the ball never got inside the three-point line.
Now here's the thing. You know this as a coach. If they'd gone to that thing and said, you know what, I don't even know that Eaton committed a foul, it would have been tough.
Yeah, right. It's back-to-back scores by Coastal on out of bounds underneath. Nothing really, just some screen-to-screener action, but 2 straight scores on it.
So the Chanticleers have the last 8. O'Meara tripped along the baseline, stopping play with 13-12 to go. A-State had gotten within 1 going into the first media timeout, and they haven't scored since. It's been just over 4 minutes. As Mustafa picks up his second. It is the 5th team foul, so A-State can keep going at that kind of clip. Red Wolves will have a chance to get to the free throw line where they're very good as a team. Sills, strong to the hoop. No. Here comes Williams pushing the other way. And he scores again. 23 for Rudy Williams.
He finishes so well with contact when he's able to get out in transition.
Marquise Davis, no. And Mustafa had Norshad O'Meara sealed out. So a 10-0 run, and Coastal, which trailed by 12 in the first half, now leads by 11 here in the second. Ball kicked, it'll stay with the Chanticleers.
Back-to-back scores by Coastal on out-of-bounds play. Arkansas State needs to bear down a little bit better on this possession. 3 straight.
Got him again, yeah.
And there was really not, that was just an individual play by Coastal. There really wasn't anything, just a great read by Coastal there.
A-State got quickly down the other end. So that's going to be the 4th on Vince Cole, which on the flip side you say, well, that's good. Their leading scorer has 4 fouls, but he's been fairly quiet tonight. 6 points on 2 of 8 shooting. It is the 16th foul, so counting this one, A-State's going to have free throws on every whistle the rest of the way.
I still think if you're Arkansas State, it is a good thing. I know he's been quiet, but he has the ability to get hot really quickly and could put this thing out of reach in a matter of a few possessions. So I still think having him over there on the bench is certainly better for Arkansas State. Yeah, Arkansas State's just got to continue just to trust. I know it's, you know, when you're coaching players, they want so badly to change things on their own, and you can't do it on your own, and they've got to continue to trust, get the ball in Sills' hands, let him attack, get it in O'Meara's hands, let him score inside. You know, they were doing some good things. They weren't scoring, but if they continue to attack, things will work out for them. Just can't panic and start settling right now, which the last couple possessions they did.
Mustafa got Sills in the air, and he's picked up his 4th foul. So Desi Sills, 1 possession after Vince Cole picked up his 4th, just got a fourth foul of his own.
Yeah, that's a pretty good job with Coastal. He's actually been really quiet, and part of it is Omier has just been playing behind him and making him have to take tough shots over him. That was actually a case there where they started moving him around on the perimeter. He was able to cut and get in behind Omier.
So to this point, Mike Bellato hasn't made a move to the bench. He's going to roll with Desi Sills here, thinking his team needs him on the floor. Down 14 as we hit the 12-minute mark in the second half. Davis bobbled the catch, and it cost A-State a layup. Felts dribbles behind Omier. The three wouldn't go. Marquise Davis had the rebound taken away. What a pass ahead by Williams, and then Omier the block, but it's into the hands of Mustafa, who scores.
Oh, he doesn't get rewarded for an unbelievable defensive play by Omier.
And now a 16-point lead. It's a 16-1 run for the Chanticleers just over the last 4.5 minutes. Felts out to Marquise Davis, open for three, and he knocked it down.
Great ball movement. There, finally a possession where they turned down two good shots to get the great shot. Great ball movement by Fields and Felts.
In the meantime there, one thing Mike Bellato was talking about during that possession, and he's right, is that there's been 3 times tonight Coastal's taken the ball out of the net and thrown it to the official. Here's Fields with a steal and a layup. So 5 straight for Arkansas State. Trims the lead down to 11. Fields hounding Ibrahim Adiba into the front court. Williams got the step, and Felts thought he got there to get the cleanly, picked up the foul, and the red-hot root.
On top of the scoring and everything else he's doing, we talked about it earlier. I've lost count of the 10 of fouls by Arkansas State. I'm sure he's drawn at least 6, if not 7 of those fouls. He's just being so aggressive.
Hits the first free throw. A-State had scored 5 quick points. So those at the line stop that and push the lead back to 13.
I wondered what Coastal now, they come out of the timeout again, going zone again. This will be a critical few possessions here to see how Arkansas State handles it. Usually they're a really good zone team. Zone offensive team, I should say.
Fields got the step. It rolled off the rim, but he'll head back to the free throw line.
That's a great job attacking there. I've always, the whole year, Arkansas State's been a really good offensive team against zones. And a lot of it, again, it's not their shooting. They do such a great job of staying in their offense, attacking off the dribble, getting it inside. So it'll be interesting to see if Coastal, it was almost like that's one of those teasers by Coastal just to see how Arkansas State handles it.
Caleb Fields, the third-year sophomore, is already 10th in A-State history, with 311 assists coming into tonight. Third in the league in assists this season. A-State has a very good record when he manages to get to and make free throws. He knocks a couple down there to, again, get the lead to 11. Midway through the second half. Coastal lead has been as large as 16. Mustafa with the find underneath, but A-State got a block. Stays with Mustafa. He kicks it in the corner. Around and out three. Wouldn't go that time for Lakai, and the rebound knocked out of bounds and will head to Arkansas State.
Yeah, I see another possession where Coach Ellis is trying to move Mustafa around a little bit, get him out on the perimeter, clear things out. First half, he mainly stayed back to the basket and didn't have a lot of success, so he's moving him around a little bit more.
See the score in Mobile, South Alabama. 3-point lead as they play with 6 minutes to go against leading Texas State. Trying to snap the Bobcats' 7-game win streak. Bounce pass into O'Meara. Farrington, turnaround no, and a rebound to Mustafa. Rudy Williams gets it in his hands. It's been dangerous for A-State. He gets the step on Fields, pass batted away. And now as it's bouncing away from the Chanticleers, there's a whistle and a foul on Arkansas State. It's going to be on Malcolm Farrington. So Farrington in that exchange called for his first personal. They knock it away from Williams. Lob ahead for Marquise Davis, who chases it down and without putting it on the floor, brings the thunder.
I thought he'd take it off way too early. I didn't think he was going to get there with it.
Oh, my.
Well, credit Arkansas State got the defensive possession, the stop on the out-of-bounds play.
On the other end, Marquise Davis trying to get the charge call, couldn't, as he picks up his first personal in the 16th foul. Let's have another look. He took off from the Sunbelt logo and finished with ease.
Oh, that's a highlight for sure.
So Abrima Diva at the free throw line with the first one is up and good. League leader at 5.7 assists per game. He's only got 2 tonight. So we mentioned he also led the league in that category last year.
Coach Ellis goes ahead and is going back with Cole. Playing with the 4 fouls now.
Chanticleer's now 9 out of 10. 8 out of 9 at the free throw line. 5 for 5 in the second half. They get the lead back to 11. Here's Felts for 3. No. Davis flying in for the rebound. Got it to Caleb Fields. Fields dancing around. Has the matchup he wants. And then got it blocked. O'Meara then couldn't get it to go. And Coastal comes out with it. Eight minutes to go, 11-point Chanticleer lead. Diva got around the defender. High off the glass, no. Rebound tip to Marquise Davis. Fields in the corner to Farrington, who took it baseline. Over to Felts. Davis will take the three-pointer, no. O'Meara the offensive rebound. His stick back, good. In on the season.
Yeah, if Arkansas State continues, a little bit of a token press by Arkansas State. If they continue to attack off the dribble like that, then it'll be interesting to see if Coastal counters and goes back to that zone or changes up defense just to try to keep them out of the paint. This is where you have to do a really good job with Cole right here, coming off all these staggered screens, single and double screens.
Diva split a couple of defenders, and he's going to be called for an offensive foul. So A-State stepped in and got the charge against Abrima Diba. It's his first. As we get another look, he's called for pushing off with that off arm there as he tried to score with the left. So Coastal, even though it's gotten to the line a couple of times in this stretch, Chanticleers have gone nearly 4 minutes without a bucket. A-State with the basketball now, down by only 8 after trailing by as many as 16. Around the perimeter, they swing it for Fields. Eaten to the high post for O'Meara. Turns back to the middle and knocks down the pull-up jumper.
It's just a big-time individual play.
15 and 10 for O'Meara. The lead down to 6. Diba being hounded by Fields as Cole gets the basketball. Shot clock already winding down. Cole hangs, and gets the roll. Tough move by Vince Cole, who's had a quiet night tonight, mostly due to foul trouble. Omier this time passes up on the jumper, took it to the rim, couldn't get it to go, but he'll head back to the free throw line.
Again, great ball movement by Arkansas State. Started there with Feltz attacking off the dribble and transition. Again, getting Coastal spread out.
So the foul goes on Garrett Green. It's his second. 10th team foul, so double bonus the rest of the way for Arkansas State. And Omier, who just hit a free throw a moment ago, is back there now, and he misses the first. This is a guy who's officially a freshman, and you see where he stands on the single season rebounding list at Arkansas State. That'll continue to go up. But he's already on the all-time career list as well in 2 seasons. Splits the 2 free throws, and the lead is 7.
I know I keep talking about it. Cole finally got a shot to fall that last possession. You got to do a great job of staying with him. Now at this end, we would always term nose to the numbers. Don't give him any space coming off of these screens.
Williams gives it to Cole, who didn't need much space to fire that one off. No good.
And that's the thing, is he does not need much space. Good job by Eaton staying with him.
And there's Cole with a steal. They were trying to kick it out to a shooter. And Omier forces the turnover as he reached in and led to the carrying call against Vince Cole.
Yeah, Coastal had done a better job this half of taking care of the basketball. They had 11 turnovers in the first half, and they'd only had 4 this half until then, so they're at 5 already this half.
Fields goes baseline, reverse, no. Omier came with the follow, lost the handle. Loose ball, still batted around. Omier is going to be, I think, called for a foul, trying to get around a Coastal Carolina player to the basketball. So we're going to walk to the other end to shoot the 1-and-1 now. The good news is that's his first foul of the night, if you're an Arkansas State fan, because that certainly has been something that's gotten him in trouble at different times over the course of the season.
Yeah, Coach Pilato's being patient with Sills with his 4 fouls.
Rudy Williams, 3 of 4 at the line tonight, looking for his 26th point, and he's short. Omier the rebound.
And the patience is over with. Sills just heads to the scores table.
Marquise Eaton picks up the Omier screen, pulls up, jumper in and out. A rebound taken by Lakai. Eaton 3 out of 10 from the floor tonight. Williams with a little move on Caleb Fields to get enough space to knock down the jumper. Just under 5 to play. 9-point Coastal Carolina lead. Eaton out to Fields. He'll try it from 3. No. Rebound to Coastal Carolina. And Norshad Omier is going to pick up a second foul. That's going to let Coastal Carolina walk the length of the floor to shoot another 1-and-1.
Those are always tough calls, aren't they? I mean, there's a little bit of a bump, but not a lot. And when somebody hits the floor like that, you almost feel like you have to call the foul.
So now this is Will Lakai at the free throw line for the first time tonight. And he hits the front end of the 1-and-1. Mike Villado getting an explanation that I don't know he'll ever be a full believer in.
Yeah, no, as I say, there's really just not much you can say about it. It's either it's a travel or you got to
And now we're going to see that.
Same call the other way.
Thing.
So there we go. Evened it out.
Never would I ever try to tell you there's a makeup call, that's a real thing. But if they existed, there was one that will send A-State walking the length of the floor for North Shadowmere to go back to the free throw line. 17 points, 13 rebounds. He's 3 of 5 at the line. This is a double bonus where the first one is rattled home.
We always say we want, with officials, the most important thing is what? You want consistency, right? And that's 2 pretty consistent calls.
Final minute in Mobile, Texas State, South Alabama knotted up. Omier hits both free throws to bring A-State within 8. As we're going to see Abrima Diba check back into the lineup. Desi Sills back out there as well for Arkansas State, playing with his 4 fouls. And Vince Cole's on the floor for Coastal with his 4 fouls. Cole gives it to Williams. He goes at Omier, who blocked it. He gives to Eaton coming into the front court. Sills lobbed it over Farrington and out of bounds. Sills got in there pretty deep and tried to get rid of it as he was going off balance, and A-State turns it over in transition.
This guy's trying to make plays. You can't fault him for that. You know, guys just trying to make plays. Right idea, just didn't connect on it.
So as we roll near 4 minutes to go, A-State looking for another stop, down by 8. Williams again takes it to the basket. Mustafa collected a loose ball. Offensive rebound, Lakai.
They did not switch into zone.
He's got 13, joined in double figures with Rudy Williams now. The A-State lead is, or the A-State deficit is 10. Farrington trims it down to 7 from the right corner.
Now we talk about Cole for Coastal, how good he is at running off of those single double screens along the baseline, and Arkansas State does it there with Farrington.
Desi Sills down playing defense against Diba, who missed the shot, and Omier grabs his 15th rebound. Eaton. Now Farrington to Omier, coming down the paint, took the pass and threw it down. What a 2-man game there by Farrington and Omier.
I like to see Farrington attack off the dribble, showing that he's more than just a shooter.
So
yeah, we talked quite a bit early in this game about how Coastal's played so many close games. They come up on the short end of it 7 times.
Omier got the steal, another one. Farrington again off the dribble is going to be fouled, and he'll head to the line. So Arkansas State, 5 quick points to trim the lead in half, and now they get a chance to trim some more as Malcolm Farrington will head to the stripe. As that was Mustafa, who slid in the last second and got called for the block.
Good for Farrington, being, again, more of a shooter, really attacking off the dribble.
Farrington hit the 3 that started the little spurt, then got the nifty assist to Omier for the dunk, and now he hits the first of 2 free throws. Chance to make this a 1-possession ball game.
Farrington had only shot 2 free throws, is that right, on the season?
Well, he doubles that total.
When you're out around on the beyond the 3-point arc most of the game, most of the season, you don't get to the free throw line a lot. You're watching the Coastal's timeout there. Cliff Ellis, I can't read what he said, but he over there clapping his hands and just basically encouraging. You know, when you've lost a bunch of games in these type of situations, you got to get your players to believe it, and you also get the ball in your players' hands, who just is having a career game.
29 for Rudy Williams. That was a huge one, and pushes the lead back to 5. Still 2 minutes to play. A-State in no hurry. Omier turnaround on the baseline, knocked down a line drive. 21 points, make that 23 to go along with 15 rebounds for O'Meara.
And Arkansas State, not to be outdone, Coach Bellato comes back and puts the ball in his leading scorer's hands as well.
Lakai lost the handle and then knocked it into the backcourt. He was going to let it roll. Sills beat him to it. Desi high off the glass. No, tipped up and in by Malcolm Farrington.
Great hustle, not giving up on the play by Sills, and great hustle by Farrington staying in the play as well.
The lead is 1. Williams step back, knocked it down. A new career high 30. Fields brings it into the front court. To the final, Texas State has beaten South Alabama. Final minute here in Jonesboro. Farrington catches in the corner. Bounce pass was knocked back to it. Now he gives it to O'Meara. Little hook, no.
That's a lot of body, a lot of contact on that shot.
So now the Red Bulls got to play for a stop, which is what they're setting up to do. Fields guarding Diva as the shot clock rolls down. Mustafa back to Diva. Mustafa had Fields on him, which was the mismatch that Coastal exploited. Go down and do that. Fields across with 14 seconds to go.
Coastal goes zone. Coastal goes zone just to set him up, to slow him down.
Farrington misses the three. It's out of bounds and will belong to the Chanticleers. And
they showed man on the inbounds and then sprinted back into zone.
Now they may once again check the clock as Farrington let it fly but missed the mark. And I'm sure this is to see where the clock will stand. Does give Arkansas State a chance to basically grab a timeout and get set up to foul if you don't get a steal on the inbound. So they put 2/10 on. It's not 5.5 seconds.
Well, you got to sell out here to get the steal. Foul's not going to do you any good now this late. Just total face guard, switch everything, sell out to get the steal.
A-State's going to not guard the inbounder and double team somebody. Comes into Green, he gets it over to Cole, and the final seconds will tick off as Coastal Carolina